You might not realize it, but banks are constantly monitoring you, and sometimes they see you as suspicious. It's not about something you've done wrong, but rather about certain behaviors and patterns that automatically trigger red flags for them. And no, it's not just the big banks. This happens across the board. If you've ever felt like your account was flagged or you were questioned for a simple transaction, you're not alone. Stick around because I'm going to break down exactly why this happens and what you should be aware of. Now, you're probably wondering why you're getting flagged for something as simple as transferring money or withdrawing a certain amount. Here's the thing. Banks have to abide by strict anti-money laundering (AML) laws. These regulations require them to be cautious and look for anything that might suggest criminal activity. So when they see something even slightly out of the ordinary, they're forced to investigate. One of the biggest reasons you could be flagged is simply how much cash you're dealing with. If you're withdrawing or depositing large sums of money, the bank is going to want to know where it's coming from. And if you're doing this repeatedly or in ways that don't align with your normal patterns, alarms are going to go off. It might seem ridiculous, but banks are playing it safe, making sure they aren't unknowingly helping fund illegal activity. Another reason banks view you as suspicious is if you have a pattern of activity that doesn't match your usual behavior. If you suddenly start making a lot of transfers, especially internationally, the bank will likely flag your account. This is actually called transaction monitoring, and it's designed to detect things like money laundering or fraud. The more transactions you make, especially if they don't fit with your history, the higher the chance you'll get flagged. Let's talk about rapid movement of funds. If you're quickly moving large amounts of money between accounts or transferring from one country to another with no clear reason, the bank's algorithms will take notice. Now, this doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. But the way banks monitor accounts is by looking for patterns. So, if the movement of funds seems irregular or unexplained, it could raise some questions. And here's something that might surprise you: sudden changes in your financial behavior. Maybe you just got a new job, inherited some money, or got a huge bonus. If you go from having a small balance to suddenly depositing a large sum, banks might see this as a potential risk. Even though it's your money, they still have to comply with government regulations that require them to ask questions. What about when you're making transactions with people or businesses they don't recognize? This is a major red flag for banks. It's especially true if the person you're sending money to is located in a country known for high levels of financial crime. If you start interacting with high-risk individuals or unfamiliar businesses, don't be surprised if they start keeping a closer eye on your account. Finally, let's talk about those small but annoying red flags. You're trying to withdraw cash from an ATM, but your account is suddenly frozen or flagged. Or you might have gotten a call from the bank asking you about a recent transaction. It could be something as simple as you trying to access your funds when you're in a foreign country. Banks sometimes flag international transactions or even just sudden ATM withdrawals because they assume the worst. Even if you're in a different location temporarily, these kinds of things can trigger suspicion. Now, if you're wondering how you can avoid being flagged, here's a quick tip. Always be consistent with your financial behavior. Regular deposits, minimal large transactions, and clear reasoning behind international transfers can go a long way. And if you know you're going to be doing something out of the ordinary, let your bank know in advance. The truth is, you're not doing anything wrong. Banks are just following strict laws that require them to question anything out of the ordinary. But it's still important to be aware of how they work. If you don't want your account flagged or worse, frozen, it's important to keep your financial behavior in check. So, if you found this video useful and you want more content like this, especially on financial topics that might be holding you back, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and support content that's here to help you navigate the complex world of banking.